Nephilim, Humanity's Last Hope. A game by Nate Kraft under Bloody Knuckles Gaming. Copyright 2013, all rights reserved. Any artwork or information not directly created by Nate or Bloody Knuckles Gaming is owned by their respective content creators. So, what is this game? This is a third-person, action, quasi-RTS game with roots in MOBAs as set in a single-player experience. Some of you may be nodding, and others might be saying, "What's a MOBA?" Well, please allow me to explain, because it might get a little bit complicated, but don't feel afraid. A MOBA is an online battle arena, basically started as mods for StarCraft and Warcraft, using in-game heroes in an alternate game type with endless computer waves smashing against each other, while the players control powerful heroes turning the tide of battle. Usually, being a single-player game, the online is scrapped, but the premise still remains. Two bases, constantly making weak armies, clashing in the middle, with powerful points of contention being tough and damaging towers. You pick a hero and fight in a constant battle of skill and attrition. The story is the world has been invaded by terrible nightmarish demons. Only one man saw it even remotely coming and traveled the world to find the device to summon the great guardians, the Nephilim, to once again aid us. You play these powerful guardians in an effort to push back the darkness and save us once and for all from these horrible beings. There are 5 side characters, the professor and his daughter, an Air Force captain, being the most important ones. The 3 main playable characters, the warrior, the assassin, and the berserker, all entities of an outsider-type nature, maybe angels or extra-dimensional beings, called Nephilim. One example would be the warrior. He is tough and stable, the strongest and toughest of the Nephilim. He can take a lot of punishment and dish out a fair amount too. He can block but to reduce damage at the cost of speed, and can wield a shield or sword combo, heavy gauntlets, or a large hammer. He makes minions near him much tougher, allowing easier survivability. The assassin is the dangerous and fast Nephilim, very powerful in spurts, but lacks the consistent sustain of the other 2. He becomes invisible and can strike from the shadows. He favors more personal weapons, like daggers or metal claws, but can still use a rapier. He has a lot of controls, such as stuns, as well. The berserker is a powerhouse, mixing the damaging power of the assassin and the toughness of the warrior to create a crazy combo. He lacks the subtlety of the assassin, or the nigh invincibility of the warrior, but his use of the hatchet and sword combo, big axe, or spear means he got the edge against most foes. He also has a fair amount of sustain himself. But the Nephilim, as strong as they are, must fight a terrible force, the nightmare demons. They have corrupted or killed many humans. And they are legion. Foes such as the worm, the beast, and the rips have poured out from portals all over the world, and only the Nephilim can push them back. The first level takes place at NORAD, in Colorado Springs. This is where the professor is from, and when he summoned forth the Nephilim, that's where they first landed. They must fight back the horde and proceed down the mountain into the newly formed mire, what is referred to as the demons' bases, at the base of the hill to close the portal and stop their flow. After this, you have a lot more to do. This is only an unlosable tutorial level after all, and you can choose from LA or New York to cleanse up next. However, you also have the option to choose some other levels. But the question is, how exactly does this sort of fight work? Well, the way it works is lanes. Lanes are a common MOBA term, and they're used as a predetermined path idea of how the armies spawn and constantly clash against one another. The B's on here are bases, and the T's are towers, the tough points of contention, while the arrows are the flow areas. One of the first side missions is New York, and it's the first introduction of 2-lane maps, the premise being the same as a 1-lane map of constantly pushing armies and towers that will only fall with your help. But New York also has a new twist, power-up camps. Beat a few minions in these camps, you get an additional power-up at the cost of time and energy. LA is another alternative side mission until your next big one, and has a new game type called mining. Stores of the powerful stone that summon forth the Nephilim's power are scattered all over LA, and you must collect them. But you can only do this once you take points of contention away from the demons and bandits that are trying to use them. This is basically a King of the Hill style map, with the initial dig sites being controlled by bandits that have to be scared off. Once you have an area under your control, a tower raises to defend that area while you hold it and gain continuous points. But if you lose it, then the demons set up a base and start getting points themselves. There's also, of course, the choice for random missions, which can mix and match already completed game types. They're infinitely replayable, and as you progress through the story, it can help to play a few of these to grind up some additional XP and abilities. There are many additional map types and levels, but we're only covering a few in this particular instance. Your Nephilim's level increases in two different ways as you play. In individual missions, you start level 1 and go to level 20, slowly but surely increasing your abilities. However, if you start another mission, you go back to the original level 1 and level up all over again. Does this mean that you never actually progress? Well, no. In fact, the XP and the money that you earn in-game do help you a little bit with what's referred to as overworld money. See, the in-game money that you use in individual levels is essentially transient, while the overworld can give you permanent benefits such as increased speed or additional powers or soldier types that you can choose from. So, overall, the game is a fast-paced, over-the-shoulder action, RTS MOBA type. But we can't forget that the real main characters are not necessarily the Nephilim, but in fact the humans and their struggle and plight. You find journals all over the world dealing with the professor and his internal struggles. I hope you enjoyed the presentation, and thank you for joining us.